Hey girls, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to do the trendy ombre French tip nails using dip powder. So I will go ahead and admit the thumbnail of this video may have been a tiny bit clickbaity. We're not going to be using gel polish. Technically we are, but we're not using gel polish color. We're only going to be using base and top coat gel, so do keep that in mind. I wanted to do something that was a lot easier for beginners because if you're like myself, you struggle with ombreing gel polishes. This method is super easy compared to ombreing gel polish, so if you do struggle with that, this video is going to be for you. I have been seeing this French tip ombre nail design going very viral all over my Instagram and TikTok, but everybody that I see is doing this with gels and I cannot for the life of me ombre gel polishes, so I figured I would try this with dip powder. Let me know down in the comments if you've seen anyone else do this ombre design with dip powder. Personally, I haven't, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys how I did it. So we're going to be doing the nail design on my left hand today. I have the dip powder nails already applied. I have 2 layers of DD576, which is called Vine Ivory. I did just apply this with the dip base, which is number 2. I did apply my dip powder over top of jelly tips, but you can do any type of dip powder application. You can do a dip powder overlay or a dip powder over top of half cover nail tips. But for this method here, I just did them over jelly tips. So after the dip powder application, I did apply the activator and I went ahead and shaped and filed the nails. I did apply a second layer of activator and now we're ready for the ombre nail design. So to do the dip powder ombre, I am going to be doing the ombre scrub method. You guys know I am absolutely obsessed with this method. So to do the dip powder ombre scrub, you will need a small fluffy brush. It already does have the color that I'm going to be using on it, so I'm not really worried about cleaning it, but you do need a small fluffy brush. You are going to need the base coat gel. This is from any of the polygel kits. I will have my favorite one linked down below. You will need your second dip powder color. I am using ON729. This is a really pretty pink color. I chose this one because I haven't actually used it yet. You are also going to need the top coat gel to top coat the ombre design after you finish, and a fluffy nail brush to dust away all of the excess powder from the nail. You will also need some lint-free wipes and some rubbing alcohol. I will also be using a very fine nail art brush. And last but not least, you are going to need a UV LED nail lamp to cure the gel. So let's get started with the ombre nail design. I am just taking my diamond from my dapping dish just to prop up my finger to stabilize it for the nail design. The first step is to take the base coat gel and apply a thin, even layer to the entire nail. Because we have to do quite a few layers of gel over top of the dip powder, you do want your dip powder layer to be very thin. You do not want to have a thick layer of gel on your nails. After applying the base coat gel, I am going to go ahead and cure for a full minute. So once that base coat is cured, we're going to do the first ombre layer for this nail design, which if you're looking at this nail design, we are doing the color that is on the right. So we're basically doing the base of the French tip nail first. You can place this on whatever side of the nail that you want, but personally I do prefer to have ombres like this on the outer side. Taking the fluffy brush, we're just going to pick up the dip powder color and start scrubbing that onto the outer side of the nail. As you guys may know, with the dip powder ombre scrub, the powder is going to stick to the sticky layer of the base coat. This makes doing the ombre super easy and perfect for beginners. I would definitely recommend to do this method if you haven't. For this step, I am just making sure to pack in the color on the right corner of the nail, and as I get towards the center of the ombre, I'm making sure not to have as much powder on my brush. This is going to give me a flawless transition. Once I finish the ombre, I am going to take the lint-free wipe with some rubbing alcohol. I am just going to fold it over just a little bit because I am going to be wiping away part of the French tip. So for this, we are just creating the smile line. You can do this however you want. You can do it pretty straight or very curvy. Personally, I do like a deeper smile line, so I'm gonna go ahead and eyeball the smile line. For this step, I would definitely recommend that you start very small and work your way back to get the smile line like you want. If you do remove too much of the ombre, you will have to wipe the entire layer, apply another layer of base coat, and redo your ombre. So once I have the smile line like I want, I am going to go ahead and take the fluffy brush and lightly dust away the excess powder from the nail. The next step is to take the top coat gel and go ahead and top coat the entire nail. I know there is a lot of steps for this dip powder ombre design, but trust me, it's going to turn out beautiful. Again, you do want to make sure to have very thin layers of gel just because we are going to have to do more layers after this. Once I've applied the top coat, I am going to go ahead and do a full cure under the nail lamp. So once that top coat layer is cured, the next step is to go back with the base coat. I'm actually going to be placing some on the lid of this dip powder jar. I do have the mixing tray, but it's a little bit dirty at the moment, so I'm just deciding to use the top of my dip powder jar. I'm going to be taking the fine nail art brush and picking up the base coat. I'm going to complete the other side of the French tip. Now this might be really hard to see on camera, so I do apologize. But basically we're just finishing out the smile line on the other half of the nail. It is perfectly fine if you apply the base coat lower than the other half of the ombre because you can wipe it away, but if you don't apply it exactly where you want it, you will have to wipe it away and apply another layer of base coat to do this side of the ombre. Now because we're not going to be applying the dip powder to this half of the French tip, I am just going to make sure to spread out the base coat towards that side. I'm personally not worried about applying the base coat to that side of the French tip. So once we have the base coat on the left side of the French tip, I am going to go ahead and do a full cure under the nail lamp. So once that layer of base coat is fully cured, I am going back with the fluffy brush and picking the same color of dip powder. We're going to be applying this to the left side of the nail. You do want to focus this color on the corner and work your way in towards the middle. We're basically doing the exact same step as the previous ombre layer, but we're only doing this to the tip of the nail. As you may know, if your ombre is not dark enough, just keep adding more powder to that area and it should darken up a little bit. After I apply the powder, I am going back with the fluffy brush to remove the excess powder from the nail. This is basically going to reveal how the nail looks. Now because I did apply a little bit too much base coat, I am going to take a lint-free wipe. I am folding up the lint-free wipe so I have a very small corner to remove the layer of ombre. I am just going to go ahead and start very gently removing the part of the ombre layer that I don't like. Again, when you do this, you want to make sure to start small. You can always remove more, but it will take a little bit of time if you have to redo the entire French tip. So once I finish ombreing the French tip, we are going to be applying another layer of the top coat gel. This is the final top coat layer, so you do want to make sure that you have a really good even surface of top coat. For the final layer of top coat, I do like to make it a tiny bit thicker than the previous layers of gel, just because again, I want a very smooth surface for the nail. You do want to make sure to wipe the sides of the nail before you cure. This is going to keep the nail shape that you've already created. Once I've applied the top coat, we're going to go ahead and cure for a full minute. So that is the finished French tip ombre nail design. Let me know what you guys think of this technique. I'm gonna go ahead and do all of the other nails as well. To save time, you can also do all of the nails at once instead of doing the nails individually as I just showed. I did want to make sure that these steps are very easy to follow, so that is why I did one nail completely, and for the rest of the nails, I'm just going to do them all at once. You can use any colors for this nail design. I would definitely recommend that they are colors that can easily be ombreed. For example, if you are using black and white, it may not ombre as well as you'd like. So I would recommend to do colors that do easily ombre together. I know some of you may have hoped that this method didn't require any gel. You could probably figure out how to do this method without any gel, but personally I do prefer to do my ombres with this gel depowder scrub method. Even though this method still uses gel, it is so much easier than the gel polish method. I did try doing this nail design with gel polish and I could not get the gel polish to ombre. I am not the greatest at ombre and gel polish. I have done it in a video, but it just didn't really ombre that well. It did look fine for the nail set that I did, but I would not do that as like the main focus for the nail design. But because I struggle so much, I just decided to do it a different method. And you guys know I love depowder ombre scrubs, so I was thinking for a really long time if it was possible for me to do this nail design with dip powder. I did a few test nails and I found what worked and didn't work. I did personally find that using a matte gel top coat for the first top coat layer didn't really work that well. I was hoping I could just apply a matte top coat and not have to apply two shiny ones, but for some reason the powder was sticking to the matte top coat. So I did actually decide to stick with using the glossy top coat. In my trial and error phase for this nail design with dip powder, I did actually try not carving out the smile line with the lint-free wipe, but that did not work because you do have to place the lighter shade of dip powder over top of the darker one. And as you guys may know, when you do dip powder ombre scrub, you do have to put the darker color over the lighter one, because if you do it the opposite way, the lighter shade is not going to show up. Before filming this set of nails, I did spend a day or two thinking of different ways that maybe I could get the same effect with less steps, but I could not think of a way that it would work. To my knowledge, you do have to do all of these steps to get the exact French tip ombre design with this method. I know it is quite a few layers of gel and you still have to hand paint your French tips, but overall this method is actually pretty easy. I do feel like it's a little bit time consuming to try to get all of the smile lines to be very even. That is why I would recommend that you do all of the nails at once instead of one nail at a time. That way you can focus on making all of the French tips the same size and shape. Another reason it's bad to do all of the nails at once is if you bump the nail, you are going to remove your ombre. So because I messed this one up, I will show you how to fix it. But before I mess the other three up, let me go ahead and top coat those. So as you can see, I did bump the nail. I'm not sure how this happened, but it happened. So to remove the ombre, you're going to take a lint-free wipe with some rubbing alcohol and just go ahead and rub the nail. This is going to remove the sticky layer of the base coat and also all of the powder that you placed over top. The base coat layer is actually still there, so you have to be careful with how many times you have to fix your mistakes. Otherwise, the nail is going to end up getting bulky. To do the new layer of ombre, you do want to take the base coat again and apply another layer to the nail. Basically, we're just starting over with the ombre process. Another thing to keep in mind is when you're applying the top coat over top of the ombre, you want to do this very gently because again, you can't actually mess up the ombre while applying the top coat. The last step is to take the cuticle oil, this is number 6, and apply this very generously to all of the nails. This cuticle oil smells really good and it is hydrating for your skin. You do want to make sure to apply your cuticle oil after your manicures. And here are the nails. Let me know what you guys think of this nail design down below in the comments. I am so glad I finally got to try this technique. Definitely let me know down in the comments if you guys have any questions on this technique. I will try to comment back and help you out. Do make sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you're not already, don't forget to hit subscribe because I do post weekly videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!